Welcome back to Magnetic Desire, the channel where we explore female psychology, attraction, and the hidden truths about relationships most people never talk about. I'm Jessica, and if you enjoy understanding the deeper psychology behind attraction and human behavior, make sure you subscribe and stay with us until the end, because the last sign we're going to talk about today is the one that reveals the strongest emotional attachment. Now let's begin. 1. She randomly checks her phone. When a girl is thinking about someone constantly, one of the first subtle behaviors she develops is frequently checking her phone. Not because she's bored, but because part of her mind is hoping to see your name appear on the screen. You might not realize it, but when someone occupies a large space in our thoughts, our brain begins to anticipate interaction with that person. So she might open her phone, check her messages, look at notifications, even when there is nothing new. It's not about the phone. It's about the possibility of hearing from you. 2. She remembers small details about you. Another subtle behavior girls show when they think about someone often is their ability to remember tiny details. Things you mentioned casually, your favorite food, a story you told weeks ago, a random comment you barely remember saying. When someone is emotionally important, the brain automatically prioritizes information connected to them. So while you might forget the conversation entirely, she remembers it clearly. Because when she hears you speak, she's not just listening. She's paying attention in a deeper emotional way. 3. She checks your social media quietly. This is something many people do but rarely admit. When a girl is thinking about someone she likes, she often becomes curious about what that person is doing, where they are, and how their life looks when she's not around. So she might check your social media, look through your stories, scroll through your posts. But interestingly, she might not like or comment, because she doesn't want to make it obvious. This is what psychologists call silent observation behavior. She's interested, but she's still protecting her feelings. 4. Your name appears in random conversations. Here's another subtle sign. When someone is constantly on your mind, your brain naturally connects them to different topics. So a girl who is thinking about you often might bring up your name unexpectedly. Maybe someone is talking about a movie, and she suddenly says, "Yeah, he likes movies like that." Or someone mentions a place, and she remembers you talking about it. It's not intentional. It happens because her mind keeps linking things back to you. 5. She smiles when someone mentions you. This is one of the most natural psychological reactions. When we hear the name of someone we have strong feelings for, our brain releases small bursts of dopamine, which can cause an automatic smile. So if someone mentions your name in conversation, and her expression suddenly changes, that reaction might be revealing more than words ever could, because genuine emotions often appear before people have time to hide them. 6. She gets slightly jealous. Jealousy doesn't always appear dramatically. Sometimes it shows up in very subtle ways. If a girl is thinking about you often, hearing about other women around you might create a small emotional reaction. Maybe she becomes quieter. Maybe she changes the subject. Maybe she asks casual questions about the situation. Not because she wants to control you, but because when emotions are involved, the brain naturally becomes protective. Jealousy, in small amounts, is often a signal of emotional investment. 7. She replays conversations in her mind. This is something psychologists call mental replay. When a moment is emotionally meaningful, the brain tends to replay it repeatedly. So after talking to someone she cares about, a girl might find herself remembering the conversation later, thinking about what was said, wondering if certain words meant something more, analyzing tone, expressions, and small details, not because she wants to overthink, but because her mind is trying to understand the emotional significance of the interaction. 8. She finds small excuses to talk to you. And finally, one of the strongest subtle behaviors. When a girl is thinking about someone often, she may look for small reasons to start conversations. Not obvious reasons, simple ones. Sending a meme, asking a random question, commenting on something you posted, sharing something she saw that reminded her of you. These interactions might seem small, but psychologically they serve an important purpose. They create opportunities to maintain emotional connection. Why girls sometimes hide their feelings. Now here's the deeper psychological truth. Just because someone feels something strongly doesn't mean they will always express it openly. Many women hide their feelings for reasons like fear of rejection, uncertainty about how the other person feels, or simply wanting to protect their emotional vulnerability. So instead of directly saying how they feel, their emotions appear through behavior, small actions, subtle signals, moments that are easy to overlook if you don't understand what they mean. Final thoughts. Human emotions are complex, and often what people feel the most deeply is exactly what they struggle to say out loud. But if you start paying attention to behavior instead of just words, you might notice patterns that reveal much more than someone intended to show. Because sometimes the quietest signals carry the strongest emotions. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about female psychology, attraction, and relationship dynamics, make sure you subscribe to Magnetic Desire. And before you go, tell me in the comments, which of these signs have you noticed before? I'm Jessica, and I'll see you in the next video.